Hello my friends, much love. It's Daniel. Hope you're all doing well out there. Today we're on a hike and we're in a particular place where we haven't spent a lot of time. But I guess it was about a year ago, me and my son, my youngest son, Marley, and my daughter, Carmelisa, we were out here enjoying the day, walking around, and we found some pottery. Looking around on Google Earth, we actually did find this spot using Google Earth. We noticed that there was this kind of peninsula poking out of the mesa over the canyon, and so we walked out to it, and what we found we believe is amazing. We wanted to share that with you today, and so we're hiking out that direction. I got a couple of miles to go, but I originally found this place because I was driving across the canyon one time and I noticed that there was just pottery shards just on the side of the road, dirt road. So the way the bird flies, it's not that far of a distance, so that's kind of what got us out here exploring. And I found this site with my children last year, although we didn't get to do any filming because it was a super windy day. But today it's a beautiful day. Temperature got down to about 27 last night, so it's still cold yet, but I think it's about 32 degrees now. But we're hiking out here. We're gonna hike out to this site, and I really wanted to share this place with you and get your thoughts on it. So right now we're just traveling through this kind of heavily wooded area. Juniper trees and the pinon trees are really thick through here. Where we're going is out over there. We're gonna walk out onto that point. So as you can see, there's still snow on the ground. The ground is kind of frozen right now, but as it's thawing out, it's getting really muddy. There's quite a bit of cryptobiotic soil out here that's starting to be pretty mature, as you can see here. Pretty cool. Ain't gonna lie though, my ears are cold. So I kind of undershot my direction, but what we're supposed to do is we got to go around, get up over there and start going down to the left there, down that little mesa. So that place I wanted to share with you is just out on this point. Walking out on the edge of this peninsula. It's kind of a sharp ridge, a little bit of cliffs on both sides, and what I want to share with you is just out on the end of this thing. So as we get closer out on the end of this point, what we begin to see is that there's more pottery in a particular place than I've ever seen before. So you'll have to tell me what you think, but I was thinking maybe this place was was a sweat lodge, kind of a ceremonial place where people came. But what we see is that there's tons of broken pottery all over the place, and maybe evidence of what we see, maybe an old sweat lodge. Then there's also manos and matates laying on the ground still. I haven't particularly found like a dwelling structure yet, but I know that they're out here, so in time, as we explore these canyons, I believe we will find them. But as we get up here, we'll start to see a lot of pottery, and it's unknown to me. So where we are now, we're closer to the Ute territory than we would be the Dene or the Navajo territory. So it's my belief that this area is likely either a Ute site, ancient site, or Anasazi. So I was just keeping that in mind. So it's really starting to get muddy, so I'm being real careful about where I step, because I don't want to step on any pottery or anything like that. So as I said, you start to see it. There's a piece there, just behind that red rock. And then as we get over here, you can see it's just littered all over the ground. So as we pick it up, you can see it's just kind of a straight gray. But there's tons of it just all over the place. Different type of pots too. These ones are like gray. This one's more of like a lighter color. And here you can see a bit of a monostone. It's really smooth, along with more pottery. And this site contains some of the thickest pottery that I've ever seen. As you can see, that's really thick. Really thick pottery. And it's just all over the ground. So we come over here, again being careful where we step. There's just pieces all over. So this is just one little spot where you can see there's just tons of it. And there's several little patches of places over here where you just find it all over. So as we just came around that tree, again you could see large pieces. That looks like the top of a pot's got frost on it. There's a little piece there. But as you get over here, you can see it's like the entirety of a broken pot sitting here. See, that one's got some old stripes. And again, some of the thickest pottery I've ever seen. It's really thick. It's just all over. Again, one of many little spots. Here we can see a few more of them. Kind of thick pieces. It's all frosted up. So here you could really see there's a lot of pottery. tell something was here. I believe it was a sweat lodge based on all the burned rocks. But along with that, check out this beautiful metate right here. It's beautiful. And along right beside it, you got this mono stone that they would use to, you know, grind. So I thought this was a pretty awesome find here. This metate and a mono together, still sitting here. And pottery just washing down the side of this hill. As we take a few steps, you see the pottery's just all over. Little pieces, bigger pieces, thick pieces, thin pieces. It's just all over. But that right there I thought was a beautiful find. That's looks like it's probably broken in half. I don't see the other half anywhere. Might have been taken by someone in the past. As we walk up, you can see all this pottery. It's a particularly larger piece there. There's some there. And there's pieces of this, like, it's like mortar, but it's like in chunks. That's why I believe that this was a piece of a sweat lodge that was kind of put together with mortar. And of course the rocks that have been fired. Look in here, this one you could see those black lines faded in the surface of that piece of pottery. This one you could kind of see like a large corrugated. Just hundreds of pieces of pottery all over this area. Here's a piece that's kind of the bottom or the top of a pot. Here's some of that yellow stuff. Some more of that burned rock. It just lies all over. So it's kind of hard to say, but here you can see there's like these mounds. So, you know, there very well could be some kind of structure under there. Although I can't see anything as far as beams or even rock kind of poking out like you would in a mound structure or a pit house. So I don't really see that with these mounds, but it doesn't mean that there ain't something under there. But I do believe there was a sweat lodge here. So right here we could see a piece of it's almost like clay that's been fired, kind of like the same texture of pottery, but you can see how it's been shaped. Probably likely to keep the rocks together of that sweat lodge. Yeah, it's probably about 30, maybe even 40 foot down right here. But I don't see any petroglyphs or anything. At least So this is the general area where you could see there was perhaps some kind of structure, and of course the sweat lodge over here. So I am curious to know what your thoughts are on this site. There is a lot of rock, so it's quite evident there might have been some kind of structure, especially with these mounds that are here. But I think it might have been maybe a ceremonial place of healing, you know, because of you know, the clear evidence obviously of the sweat lodge. You could just see the angle on that mud right there. So I do believe it was a sweat lodge that was located here, at least, with all the burned rock, and who knows what else. But I did want your opinion on what this place might have been. Here's some more of that mud right there. You could tell it was like sitting on wood or rock. It's burned. Another monostone. So yeah, if you have any thoughts on what this place was, by all means, let me know. Here you can see this piece, it's like a large corrugated. Very interesting. So as we're walking out of here, you're not going to believe this, but we found another sweat lodge, all busted down. Now, that's a pretty cool looking rock there. You can see it's got moss growing on it. But when I say I found a sweat lodge, this is why. You can see these pieces of rock that have been fired. They've turned red from the heat that's been on them, but you can see where it was just mud that was slapped on pieces of wood. Again, right here you can really see where it was grabbing onto a piece of wood. And if that doesn't convince you, there's this one. You can really see where it was around a piece of wood. You could even see in the mud, you can even see the grain of the wood in here. If that don't convince you, check this out. That was definitely grabbing onto something. So I don't know what the deal is, but we're about a mile from that ridge we were exploring, and come across this sweat lodge here. As you can see, it's all broken down and mostly removed. But again, another sweat lodge, pottery all over the place, just at my feet right here. You see once again old pots surrounding the sweat lodge. So I can't believe it, but we stumbled upon another one. Fascinating. And so as we continued, we're just past that sweat lodge. As you can see, there's this piece of pottery here where you can see part of a broken handle poking out from it. And there's this one kind of tucked in. Really cool. Again, it's all over the area. You can see there's another piece right there. It just litters the whole area. So we're down here in the bottom. You can see all these oak trees and this old oak leaves. But we thought we'd check out a few alcoves down in the bottom of this general area. We spent the remainder of our time down in the canyon bottom, looking at the bottom of the mesa,
looking underneath alcoves for any signs of dwellings, looking at the face of cliffs for any signs of petroglyphs, anything that could give us more clues as to what this place was and who these people were. And although we did not find anything, we do believe that there are dwelling places in these canyons, and we do intend to continue to look in the near future. But nevertheless, it was a great day, and we do appreciate you coming along and joining us for this adventure. We look forward to catching you on the next one. We thank you for watching. Much love.